Hi, I'm Kyle with New Gamer Nation, and I'm here with Ryan. He's the creative lead on Harmonix's Amplitude, the reboot.
Hey.
So this is a remake of the 2003, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
And so is this a complete remake, or are there going to be some differences from the 2003?
Well, I mean, there will be obvious graphic differences, but we've been doing a bunch of things to the core gameplay and to more of the casual side of the gameplay to improve it. So people will see that there will be new gameplay modes like team play in the multiplayer section, but also we're sort of massaging all the little grisly details that are behind the scenes in the game. I think people will be pretty psyched about it.
Definitely. So you mentioned that you kickstarted the project.
Yep.
How is doing that? I know it was a tight window for you guys. Just made it, squeaked in at the last moment.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster ride. We wanted to try Kickstarter out. We thought it might be a fun way to just sort of get our game out there, see if people wanted it, because this was really like a pet project for us. A lot of us really wanted to make it, but it wasn't obvious that people out there wanted it, Right. It was like after we had finished for multiple years, actually, Rock Band 3, and we just wanted to put it out there. And the cool thing about Kickstarter was you can present it to people, and if people want it, it gets kickstarted, and if people don't want it, then you don't have to go through the process of making a whole game and finding out later. And our Kickstarter, we did it very, very fast. I think it was 3 weeks or something. We had a very quick, short window, and it was crazy. Like we made good money about halfway through, but we weren't sure if we were on the trajectory for success. And then in the last, I think it was like last 3 days maybe, it kind of went gangbusters.
I remember I was watching a video, a Giant Bomb video that had John Drake on it, and he was like plugging it. So I remember
like the last few minutes,
couple minutes, just trying to get it through. So
yeah.
I was cheering for you guys. I'm glad that you made it. How would you say that being a Kickstarter project, vice one of the major Harmonix projects like Rock Band, how would you say that influences your development flow, like your release schedule, anything like that? Are there changes that you're making because it's a Kickstarter?
Well, with regards to Amplitude, or just like our general mentality?
Either or. You go ahead and give me your answer.
Well, I think it's been very interesting and pretty fun to make a Kickstarter game because we're doing everything out in the open. Every decision we make and every shift that the game takes, we put up on Kickstarter and let people know about it. We've been showing the game in states that previously we would never show a game. Like, we couldn't even talk about the Beatles until like the moment before it was released, That's how Harmonix games have been for a long time. It's been very refreshing to be able to show people really early, mostly broken Amplitude versions, whether we're at PAX Prime or PSX or now at PAX East. So we have a pre-alpha version here. People are playing it and having a ton of fun, but it's so early,
Yeah, it must be exciting to get that feedback early on. Do you have that feedback from the community? Are you letting that influence your development cycle or your changes that you're making to the formula at all?
Oh, yeah. So Harmonix has always been very big on playtesting, and this has been kind of a weird alternate playtest, right? You put something up and you see how people respond to it via the Kickstarter, and so we are letting that, people's comments and mails that people are sending us really drive how we do things. Luckily, there's a bunch of people out there that played the original, so they have good feedback, especially when they come here and play with us in person. They can give us great sort of hands-on feedback based on stuff that they enjoyed in the past.
So 2003 original Amplitude was a bit of a cult classic. I know it got pretty difficult in some of the later stages of the game. What are you doing to change the formula? Are you keeping that difficulty, that hard to master thing in there, or are you making any other notable changes to the formula in this new version?
Yeah, so holistically the game is sort of like, we're treating it like a concept album. So unlike the original game, this music for this game is all connected. We're writing almost all of it in-house. We're bringing back some of the old favorite musicians from the old game to help us as well. But that creates a sort of cohesion through the whole game that you can really tell when you're playing it. And then once you dive in and start playing the parts, we've had a lot of time and many music games to really hone how we ramp people into our games. So on the lower end of the difficulty, it's going to be much more. It's much more welcoming to a new player than the original Amplitude, which was pretty difficult.
Right.
So we've gotten a lot better at like getting people into the game, but it's been my goal the whole time to make sure that the top end of Amplitude feels just like the old game, and maybe even more difficult. So we've got a lot of cool things going on that aren't necessarily showing up in this build here, that will be both, will be not only lowering the floor to entry, but also raising the ceiling as well to difficulty.
How big is the team working on it? Is it like, I have to imagine it's smaller than the Rock Band
It's small,
team?
oh yeah.
So.
Offhand, I don't know, I think it's 20 or under.
Okay.
You know, there's 3 artists, there's 2 designers, 3 musicians, a handful of QA, so it's a pretty small team.
Awesome. So what's the release plan? Is there going to be an early access version, demos, and what platforms and prices are you looking at to when you officially release?
So it's all PlayStation,
Okay.
so PS3, PS4. We're planning for summer release.
Okay.
And, you know, as far as details of the actual release, I don't have any yet.
Okay.
But, you know, we hope to really integrate into the cool, like, online features of the PlayStation and hopefully get people stuff in an interesting way now that there's, you know, digital delivery.
Yeah,
so it's like a little more flexible than it used to be, and so I don't even have the actual answer for you right now. But
yeah, no worries.
It's coming out summer.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
appreciate it. You have a good one. Good luck.